Okay, today is another really special day. I'm back in Torino today with Larry, and we are at Eil Design. So this is design heaven, call it that. We're going to go through the museum. We're going to see some really interesting concept cars that these guys have worked on over the years. We're going to see first the museum, then what they're working behind the scenes. Some stuff we can't show, so you know, it is what it is. And then we're going to be seeing the final build of very two special cars that Eil Design has put together with Nissan, and maybe take something interesting for a drive. And while we're here, I just wanted to point out there's an FD RX-7 here in the car park, but more on that later. First, let's go inside and start taking a look. As you come in, you're greeted with some interesting concept cars and Giugiaro's own very special Mark 1 GTI. This is a 5-door with US bumpers. This is one of 3 cars ever made, and this was Mr. Giugiaro's personal car back in the late 70s, his daily runabout here in Torino. And the cool thing about this car is that it was actually stolen at one point, and they gutted out the interior and it ended up getting a custom interior made. And funnily enough, it has the US bumpers. And of course, this is possibly the car that saved Volkswagen. This is an interesting concept that Giugiaro created in 2012 called Parkour. It's based on a Lamborghini Gallardo R8, so V10, naturally aspirated. And the cool thing about this car is that it's basically a sports car that can go on-road or off-road. It can vary the ride height by 17 centimeters. You can see the Lamborghini V10 there, the onboard pushrod suspension with KW dampers, really insane cabin, carbon fiber everywhere, sort of gull-wing doors, gigantic wheels and tires. So an example of the many industrial designs that Eil Design takes care of. They go from cameras, Nikons, coffee machines, a basketball, and then as Andrea is going to show us,
the pasta.
You actually make pasta.
Of the pasta was inspired by the grommets, the ceiling grommets of the vehicle, or the PP, the flange of the door,
right?
To collect more tomatoes.
Can we still buy this pasta?
This one not, but there are some other that were still available.
That's amazing.
Also, it was Voiello in the 80s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. That's taking industrial design to a whole new level.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so Italian, I love it. Deus Vayan here, concept car, made 2 years ago. They're still trying to work on, actually creating the car. But of course, Giugiaro, Eil Design is a design company. So, manufacturers or emerging brands hook up with guys like these, a group of amazing designers to create mock-ups, concept cars, full-on production designs. Hopefully bring them to production. And the design, as I said, it is an industrial design firm, so they design pretty much everything. And check out this Ford Mustang Giugiaro concept from 2006 with scissor doors. Oh my God. My God.
We know that you're interested in one of our treasures.
Larry, today is a GTR kind of day. GTR.
You said it wrong. GTR.
GTR. Wait, is this the one we brought to Daikanyama T-site in Tokyo? When was that?
The one that it was in 2018.
18, right?
2018.
Yeah.
And then you saw it back to Fuji.
That's right, exactly. That's insane. I can't believe I'm seeing this car again. And this is the one with that whole redesigned interior, which actually never made it to the production car. Of course, in Italy, everything starts with the obligatory cup of coffee. So I'm here with Andrea from Italdesign,
Hi, guys.
and we are going to run through this museum area and then basically nerd out on Italdesign's history, because there's so much that people don't realize that I just want to dive as deeply as possible today into it. Starting off with this Golf MK1 GTI 4-door, well 5-door really.
5-door, yeah.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about this car?
Usually the Golf GTI is a 3-door, but this is a special version 5-door with US bumper and rear US lights. It was specially made by Volkswagen for Italdesign as a gift for the project that was so successful. So it was a daily use car for Mr. Giugiaro, and we also implement a specific interior. And if you open the interior, Dino, you can see.
You can get a whiff of the 1970s.
Unfortunately, you cannot smell through the video, but it smells of 70s.
Oh yeah, it definitely smells. Definitely smells like the 70s. One thing I really didn't know about is that there was the old Volkswagen logo on these cars. Something I somehow didn't realize that.
It's Wolfsburg, is the headquarters of Volkswagen. That means Wolf means wolf, of course, and Burger means Burg. And so there is a shape of the castle with a wolf.
Right. And you were telling me this car actually had a bit of a bad history in the case that it got stolen and then the interior got ripped out or something along those lines?
No, the car, of course, was used daily, but as I said, being so much custom made, it was difficult to be stolen.
And of course, it has the design by Giugiaro at the back. So this was a massive success for Volkswagen at the time.
Absolutely.
Kind of saving the brand.
It's probably the born of the hot hatchback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was this very first model.
And you were saying only 3 were made?
Only 3 are made in the world, and one is here, the other one in Volkswagen, and the third one, if I remember correctly, belongs to the orchestra director Herbert von Karajan.
Wow, very special car. So this is based on a Lamborghini Gallardo. You guys did a kind of a safari type.
We wanted to implement a new segment because Italdesign Store is thinking about new segment, and this was meant to be a off-road GT. We took a donor car, like you say, Lamborghini Gallardo. We kept the engine, but we changed completely the chassis, the suspension system, because we have a 4 setup of the suspension. The total run of the suspension is 160 millimeter, and you can have a track configuration, off-road, a city, and another one. It's all built by hand, fully functional. In Italian, as we always say, we call it prototipo, but because in English it's called show car, but in Italian, prototipo means that it's something functional. And for us, the show car are always functional and handmade.
So I noticed it's got push-rod suspension, KW dampers, and an exhaust up here.
Yes, we also move, because we are also capable of modifying parts of the mechanical.
This is before McLaren did it.
This is 2013.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to talk about a bit is that, most people would assume that Italdesign is just a design firm, but you are way more than that.
Correct, Dino.
You are like an engineering, development, and of course, since you've been bought out by Volkswagen Group in, 2010?
2010, yeah.
You are also dealing with, the whole group's design.
Correct. We are involved.
But you have a separate section that is free to work on other customers' cars, like Nissan, for example, the GTR50.
Yes. We are allowed to work on the open market because this is a part of our DNA and the history.
Yeah.
And of course, everything is kept separated between the two sides of the project. So one part is dedicated to the group and the other one to the open market, physically separated.
That's amazing. And you have offices everywhere around the world.
We have headquarters in Italy, Torino, Moncalieri, and then one branch office in Barcelona, 2 offices in Germany, Ingolstadt and Wolfsburg, 1 office in China, Shanghai, and the other one we recently opened in Detroit.
Because you guys have worked with, hundreds of brands, not just automotive. I'm talking like, daily life stuff that you wouldn't even think about. Like you showed me a champagne glass that is recently being designed. It's just, I just can't believe the amount of work that Italdesign is involved with.
It's easy to say the brand that we have not worked with.
Yeah, right.
But it's also difficult to find someone that we have not worked with. Basically, in the automotive, we have collaborated with all the brands, the existing brand, and brands that don't exist anymore, unfortunately. And the product design, again, is our strong part because we design from the pencil up to a module of the space station, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is a recent project for an electric coupe. It's an Austrian company called Deus. The car is called Bayenne. Was a collaboration in terms of design because the idea concept was coming from their side. Of course, we have to make it feasible because our competence is to make a design that can be produced. And that's where our design center work. This is a running vehicle, running show car, presented a few years ago.
But I think it sums up what what you guys stand for. You're basically bringing that, the Coachwork era of the 20s, the 30s, the 40s back to modern day times. You don't singly choose a big manufacturer. You work with anybody.
Yes.
Even a single client could come to you and get a custom reskin to whatever car.
You're right. For us, all the customers are important.
Yeah.
And you say correctly, the heart of coach building in Italy and proudly in the world was Torino.
Yeah.
We know all the other brands very well. We want to keep the tradition alive because it's something that we don't want to disappear. We keep all the old techniques like panel beating. It's still fundamental. Metal for us is one of the best material.
Yeah. And with that, I think we should probably touch on the Japan side of things because like me, you're really into Japan, the JDM side of things, but not only the culture and everything else that goes around it. And, we were talking how Italdesign was one of the first outside design companies to come into Japan and kind of help manufacturers maybe stand out a little bit from what they were doing, starting off with Suzuki, who was basically your first.
One of the first projects in 1969 was the Suzuki, was a light commercial vehicle, then there was the Fronte Coupé.
Yeah.
And then going on, we can mention, for example, Isuzu Piazza, Subaru Alcione, and Aristo Toyota.
Yeah, did you guys know that the first generation of the
the
Aristo,
very first, yes.
So that was a 93, 94?
Yes,
I believe?
correct.
That was designed by Giugiaro, Italdesign.
And there are so many other projects that were born here that unfortunately we cannot declare for NDA, but it's a pity. I wish to illustrate more.
Yeah, well, I mean, the final one is the GTR50.
Yeah, the GTR50 is something that we're really proud of.
Yeah, that's amazing. And next here is a very interesting looking Mustang. This is from 2006, right?
Yes, it's our interpretation of a muscle car, the most famous along with the Corvette. And this is fully running vehicle again because we produce running vehicle and all handmade. We have an interior interpretation of the team, as you can see.
Oh wow, look at this is like Texas in here.
Yes, exactly. Pure muscle car.
You have a cowhide in the center of the seats. I've never seen anything like it. That's super
Even the
cool.
panoramic roof probably is one of the biggest glass
This is glass?
ever produced.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
That in this case is also structural.
So would you say this helped Ford kind of take some design cues?
Sometimes the task of Italdesign is to promote and produce some design clue for the customer, then up to the customer to take it or to move on and design something else. But this is our specialty, to give out-of-the-box interpretation of their particular model or brand.
So over here we have a really interesting technical design of what I thought was the Isuzu Piazza from far away, but it's actually something else.
Yeah, it's the Asso di Picche. On the bottom right, you can see the date, April 73. So last year, we decided to celebrate the 50-year anniversary. We recently made a computer graphic version of the new reinterpretation by Italdesign of this iconic vehicle, because you can see that the C-post somehow recall famous model of the Audi group.
So as if you haven't figured out, it's an Audi concept car from 73. Yes. And it kind of helped give a general stylistic direction for a Quattro model, maybe?
This is what I was saying before. Italdesign is giving some interpretation, then it's up to the OEM, to the customer, to keep the elements that we design. And for us,
you give inspiration.
Exactly, inspiration is the correct word.
Okay, so you guys have prepared for us a very JDM focused studio area, and you also added, of course, the 01, your own creation here. But let's run through the history of the GTR50, because, like I was saying before, this is when I first met you in Japan in 2018.
18 in Daikanyama.
In Daikanyama Tea Site, when you guys brought this out and blew the world apart, because it was the first time that Nissan also brought out a bunch of cars from their heritage collection.
It was the Camry.
The Camry and
LM.
GTR LM.
Yes.
Like, that was never done before, and it kind of started off something, because they're a bit easier to deal with, asking to bring crazy cars out of the collection now. But this is the car that was basically unveiled
In Goodwood, July 2018.
So this is the hand-built concept car. As you were saying, it's all metal. It's all hand panel.
Yeah, the hood is in carbon fiber. The door and the body side and the roof are panel beaten in steel.
In steel.
And the rear end full carbon.
And of course, the GTR50 is a car that's designed by Nissan at their London studio.
Correct. They designed it there. They also came to stay with us for a couple of months to refine the design. We engineered and produced it here.
Yeah. And the designer of this car is actually the same designer that did the recent Hyperforce that was unveiled at the Tokyo Mobility Show. We actually shot that with Larry. And it's very special, because that obviously got the sign off from Nissan, and you guys moved to the next step, which was creating the concept car. This was the one that was used at Goodwood, right?
This one is the test car, so it's the very first vehicle for the production. It was used to homologate the vehicle, to test the vehicle. We brought to the Nardò test track that is in the south of Italy. It's the ring for high-speed test, handling, performance check. And then, once it was approved, we start the production for the customer vehicle.
Yeah.
We have two prototypes. The other one is called Proto 2, that was exposed also in Ginza Crossing. That is the black and white.
I remember you guys wrapped that in white.
Yes, it was wrapped black and white, correct. Underneath is all visible carbon.
That was actually the second time I did a story on Speed Hunters with the GTR50, because first shot this and then the car at the Ginza Crossing. And you guys have built 18 so far, is that correct?
So far we are building the 20. The production ended at 20 vehicle.
So you finished production already?
Yes, production is over. Yes, correct.
So it's 20 cars. It was supposed to be 50, but COVID happened, and
unfortunately the COVID didn't help the
push
job.
the sales.
Yes, exactly.
But that's great, because this car becomes even more special.
It's more rare, correct.
Rarer, and obviously it's going to become a very valuable addition to anybody's collection.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the cool thing is we're actually taking this out later on, right?
Yes, you will be able to
drive it. That's insane.
The most powerful official GTR ever, because 720 horsepower.
Yeah, I was mistaken. I went to see the Ryuki car in Japan, and I just assumed it was a base Nismo car. I didn't know Nismo fettled with it.
No, Nismo worked closely with us. They reworked basically the engine, changing the turbo, the crankshaft, and even the transmission. So they tuned it up to 720 horsepower.
They even modified the transmission?
Yes, because it's not just a matter of increasing the power of the engine, but all the powertrain is connected, and with the new torque, you need to reinforce the
beefed up transmission. So can you give us a quick rundown of what
this
car
is the very first example of our FUOF project. The program was born to show to the world our real competence in terms of design, engineering, and production, because most of the time we cannot declare the project that we are working on. So we produce 5 of the coupe version, and then one off of the open version that is called Duerta, that in Piemontese means open.
And it's based on?
It's based on the Audi R8.
Audi R8.
Yes.
And have these cars been featured? I mean, I haven't really heard about this car.
It's featured in Forza Motorsport.
Ah, okay.
And in some other video games also.
And it's full carbon fiber?
Full carbon fiber body, yes.
I love the raw carbon here on the spoiler.
This is again the test vehicle that we use for the homologation and all the tests. And so it's really used.
We're actually taking this out?
Yes.
This day just gets better and better. It seems to be the theme here in Italy, where
As we always say, cars are meant to be driven and not just seeing.
I agree with that. Cool. Well, thank you for the run through of everything.
Thanks, Dino. It was a pleasure to have you.
I look forward to the afternoon portion of the day where we can have a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Around Torino.
You will enjoy for sure.
Okay, so we're actually taking the cars to lunch. We're going to take the GTR50 and the 01 Italdesign test car. So this is based on an Audi R8 with a complete redesign, reskin from Italdesign. Made 5 of these, and then we take that one out. We're basically in the studio area, so no need for maneuvers. We just turn the table, and out we go. That is sick. Wow. This is actually the area where they shoot cars, prototypes, so it's really protected among all the Italdesign buildings. So you can either take pictures or practice doing some donuts around here. So what a selection of cars to actually go out and grab some lunch with. It's insane. What?
Look at that color.
Dude, we're taking these cars to lunch.
Oh, what a car.
Yeah, I noticed that. The logo's different front to back.
It was a way to pay homage to different generation of the GTR. So the front one is 35, R35, the side one is R34.
I love used and abused test mules. And of course the interior. Look at the Alcantara. It brings in that color from the exterior into the door trim and of course across the dash. And due to homologations, they weren't allowed to touch the upper part of the dash because of crash test regulations and stuff. So too bad, but still is a very special looking car. And it's got the carbon ceramics from the 2021 Nismo, right? The base. And of course, regulations in Italy dictate that you must have winter tires on up until what, April or something?
April,
yeah,
correct,
there you
correct.
go.
Usually we mount them.
That's why everything we've been driving so far, including the 2 press cars we have, are all on winter tires, which is good because you never know if you're gonna get caught out with snow or ice. Okay, so here we are. Larry in the GTR50. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. And Andrea, you gotta talk. I'm gonna come with your RX-7. This guy has an RX-7 in Italy, an FD, and a very, very pretty one at that. Look at this selection of cars. This is so cool. I can't believe I'm in an FD in Italy, chasing a GTR50 test car and chasing a Giugiaro 01. Oh my lord. So the cool thing is that a bunch of JDM guys here in Torino are organizing a meet tonight for me and Larry. And you're bringing the FD, right?
Definitely.
So we'll definitely talk about it more tonight. But I just wanted to show what an insanely clean interior it has. Like, FDs are renowned for like having terrible plastics that, you know, degrade over time. But this, yeah, well,
There's squeaker rattle.
it squeaks.
It's part of the magic.
Yeah, I guess. I have to say, the GTR50 looks like a Gundam robot from the back. Once you see that roof line, it's so angular. We've arrived to our little quick lunch spot here in the outskirts of Torino. Look at this. Eil Design Specials, unmolested stock FD. Man, this thing goes when you floor it.
It's so fast.
It's so fast. You chirped second gear there.
Really?
Yeah, on the winter tires. That's so cool.
For it being winter tires, it actually has a lot of.
But you know, they're really soft compound, so once they warm up, it's like chewing gum.
But also another thing about this car is, it's just overcoming its weight with technology. You know, it's just doing everything it can to keep
effortless.
all four wheels just.
And the FD, with the big square Italian plate at the back to fill up the JDM license plate space. It's like a spaceship. 2 spaceships and an FD. Okay, so after a massive lunch, it's time for me to get behind the wheel of the GTR50 test car here with the Italdesign 01. Crazy how long this car is compared to the base R8. All right, so getting in here, and I guess we follow these guys.
Yeah.
All right, so we're filling up with the GTR50 because we're gonna head into some nice roads, get some driving. The Italdesign supercar has already filled up. This is a busy gas station, and funnily enough, right next to us is a Fiat Panda, one of the first cars that Italdesign, you know, became really known for. Well, not the first car, what am I saying? It's just a really famous Italdesign car. Giugiaro, of course, penned this. Look at this, 2 Italdesign cars right here.
Wait, this and this?
Yeah. The
You're
Fiat
kidding.
Panda is a Giugiaro design, which is the reason Japanese people love, you know, the panda in Japan.
Wait. You're kidding.
Yeah. I can't believe how low this roof line is. It makes the windscreen look like a widescreen panorama.
Watching Ben-Hur.
Yeah. So we're gonna hunt out some nice driving roads. We have the RX-7 in the back, the Italdesign 01 in the front. All right, we're gonna get some action shots now.
How many kilowatts does this have?
450,000 kilowatts. Let's stick it in manual.
So this has about 100 more
100,
horsepower.
yeah, about 110 more horses, I think,
110 more horsepower than the Nismo
than the regular Nismo.
35 of this generation.
So this is the 2021 Nismo GTR base, modified by Nismo to have 720 horsepower, plus upgraded transmission.
You know what's crazy also to me is the fact that they have to take this down to bare metal.
I know,
Like-
it's crazy. It's such a big work.
Wow. I didn't even realize that instead of just starting with the bare chassis, they start with a complete car, which is so crazy to me.
And it takes 8 months to build one. It's actually so smooth when the spoiler is down. It cleans up the lines and then... That's so cool. So the mechanism is actually heavy, but who cares? It looks so cool. It needs it.
Show you.
This is one thing we forgot, is the engine bay.
You have to remove it.
Oh, it's not hinged, it comes off.
It's a
Right, right.
clamshell. Sai dove lì sotto. Luca, vai da... Tieni qua tu.
I saw Stevens. He removed it for us. That's the only time I've seen him remove it.
It's a 3-man job.
So it's worth to see, vai in verticale.
It's so
What is
dramatic.
worth to see is the structure.
Oh my god, look at that.
Oh, that's scary.
So you see it's full visible. The pack, there is an option for the customer to have full visible carbon. And the center parts of the whole car, is, you have this effect. Then you can decide to paint it with tinted clear coat, like we did one with Wangan Blue.
Nice.
And the Wangan blue tinting color of the carbon is quite impressive.
We got Lewis at the wheel. And we ended up with some really nice twisty bits. Okay, so final few shots for the day. Amazing afternoon spent here with Italdesign, the GTR50, and FD, and that crazy thing over here, the 01 Italdesign. Massive thank you to Italdesign for allowing us to play around with their prized possessions. We are actually staying in Torino. We have a really cool meet that's being organized for us tonight. So there's going to be a bunch of Japanese cars and a lot of other stuff.
Whoa! Some nice cars here.
What a turnout. Amazing, look at this place. It's impressive. Let's take a look around. There's even a 34. Angry Panda Klan, the organizers of the show. God, there's even a Cadillac here? What the hell? Alfa Romeo 4C up there. So we're gonna go and check out the actual showroom here, where all the nice things are, or rather the expensive stuff maybe. So we're at BTS, and oh wow, look at this. The Fiat Uno slammed on OZ Futuras, Lancia Delta, GT40. Wow. 164, oh yes. This is all carbon fiber? What? What? What the hell? Oh my god. It's so clean, on air. What? It's got an airlift system. Of course, an Italian classic, the Fiat Uno. Do love the wheels, color matched. Modern seats inside. Nardi wooden steering wheel. Super cool. And let's take a look at the Delta here. We've been doing a lot of stuff with Lancias lately, so it's always a pleasure to see another one. And from this door that overlooks the actual meet, you can really get to see the cars that these guys brought out together for us. Such short notice. I'm so overwhelmed by the reception that we're getting here in Italy. It's really amazing to see people come out and meet us. Always a pleasure. I'm gonna go downstairs and take a look at some of these cars in a little bit more detail. Alfa Romeo 4C. Everything is on aftermarket wheels here. Of course, we've been doing a lot of Alfa Romeo related stuff here in Italy. We went to the museum. I've been driving a Stelvio Quadrifoglio, and I get to keep it a little bit longer. So I want to do like something a bit more interesting with that. So I plan to take it to some roads close to home and do some proper driving. Next to the 4C, really nice slammed Scirocco, again on those interesting wheels that BTS design, very Alfa-like. I'm guessing these cars are all on air suspension because there's no way the authorities here would allow something like this. And here a Giulia with an even more aggressive wheel design. They even have their own brakes. It's pretty sick. Giulia BTS. Looks like it could be a complete car. Might need to ask what this is all about. It definitely has a new bumper design. This thing even has a Kansai service sticker on the back. Definitely modified. I think I'm just gonna ask everybody to open up engine bays so we can kind of explore more on the tuning side of things. I just spotted this Toyota Altezza IS200 on Nissan 370 wheels, if I'm not mistaken, and running some work emotions at the back. Okay, insane Fiat 500 here. I can't believe how wide this thing is. Look at this. And it's insane that people modify these to this level. I'll have to find out more about this thing, but my lord. And strangely enough, this has to be the very first time I see a Jaguar slammed and modified like this thing here. It's pretty unique, I have to say. More airlift performance equipped cars. And there's even more stuff outside. just never ends. That's Federico's MX-5. We have a Fiat. Is this a 128? Looks like a 128 four-door rally car. Alfa Romeo Giulia. Very dark out here. Another GR Yaris. Very dark. Sorry, guys. There's a Integra Type R. Okay, so this is the owner of the Multipla.
Yeah.
That's blowing Larry's mind. It's a Lancia Delta engine, basically, right? That sounds pretty beefy. And of course, inside it actually runs the Fiat Coupe dashboard on the top part. It even has an Alfa Romeo Stelvio steering wheel. This thing is insane. Sounds so good. The owner has actually made a double full weight. I'm still blown away at the selection of cars that come out tonight. And I didn't even point out, but this Evo 6 actually has a Katakana Speed Hunters window banner on the front. One of the Angry Panda Klan.